Hello, and welcome to another episode of Spoken Voices. We hope that everyone is doing fine. We hope that everyone is safe and sound and healthy because we know we have another thing going on with this variant. Please take care of yourselves. Please do what you need to do to take care of others also. I'm here today, as you can see, with the producer. Good morning.
And director.
And director, right? But we have a special guest. We have Dr. He's gonna make sure I don't mess up his name. and Yoha.
Well, that's close. I'll give you 90%.
90%. And see, there you go, folks.
And
He gave you his correct name. And then correct me if I'm wrong, you are a pediatrician.
Yes,
right?
yes, I'm a pediatrician
Right.
since 1996.
Which I think is one of the best part of being a doctor. If I were to be a doctor, it would be helping children. But not only that, he has a lot of irons in the fire because he's also an author.
Great.
Right, and this is one of 5 books. Am I correct?
Yes, you are.
Yes, and so we're going to get to know the doctor, and he's going to tell us all about himself right now. Good morning, by the way.
Good morning, and thanks for inviting me. Happy New Year.
Yeah, same to you. Same to you. So tell us a little bit about yourself. I know it's going to take a while because I'm looking at the back of the book. You have a lot of things that you're doing.
Well, to make it short, I'm Nigerian Igbo. I was born, raised in Nigeria, and my ethnic tribe is Igbo of Nigeria, Nigerian Igbo.
Okay.
So I came to the United States in 1992 with my wife. We've been married for 30 years.
Wow, great.
We married in Nigeria, and a week later we came to the United States. We have 3 kids actually, and they're grown up. Then 2 boys and a girl. They're all grown up, and I practice. I'm in general pediatrics. I do general pediatrics in Bridgeport, Connecticut, since 2000, and I'm also a student.
Okay.
I'm also a PhD student in infant mental health. And for part-time, I write books. So these are some of the things I do.
Which is great. You're a part-time book writer, which is awesome. So
Yes.
let me ask you, what made you, as you were going to, and trying to figure out what you wanted to do and going to school, what made you get into pediatrics?
Well, that's a very good question. My father has 10 kids. My parents have 10 kids. So
wow.
I grew up around kids.
Mm-hmm.
And my father, loved kids a lot. And growing up in Africa, in Nigeria, there was a lot of needs. I saw a lot of needs to be a doctor. My grandmothers, my aunts, everybody was sick and they were looking for people to help. So I think that kind of, helped me, inspire me to be a doctor.
Okay.
And because I grew up around kids, I love to take care of children.
What made you come to the States? What inspired you to come over here?
Well, kind of, looking for opportunities beyond what was offered in Nigeria at that time, which is in 1992. Out of medical school at age 24, I quickly saw that I wasn't prepared to practice medicine. So I had to come to the United States to do my residency and specialize in pediatrics.
So where did you study over here?
Oh, well, I did my residency. Well, I was already a doctor when I came to the United States. So I had to do my residency in pediatrics at Brookdale Hospital, Brooklyn, New York.
That Brooklyn?
Brooklyn, New York.
My son was born in Brookdale Hospital, which is
Really
weird.
What year was that?
Yeah, when was Nate born?
Wasn't he born?
1990,
Andrew was born 87.
88.
Oh,
1988.
88, okay. I
Yeah.
was in Brookdale from 1993 to 1996.
Wow, well, that's a heck of a coincidence.
Yeah, I was doing residency there for
Uh-huh.
3 years. Yeah,
Well, so for 3 years you stayed in Brooklyn,
yeah,
right?
yes.
Why did you make the transition from New York? Which to me, I guess to me, it gives you a broader, realm to find a hospital to work at, as
Yeah.
opposed to coming to Connecticut. What made you to come to Bridgeport?
Well, it's a long story. Do you want to hear all of it?
Yes, of course, of course.
Okay. Being a doctor, right?
Hmm.
There are different, you have to have a certain license to practice in certain areas of the United States. And when I came in, because I wasn't a US citizen then, I was limited to how long I practiced in New York City,
Okay.
which is different from how long I practiced in New York and Connecticut. So the license requirement was different from practicing in New York and practicing in Connecticut. So that kind of determined my, movement from New York to Connecticut because of the license requirement.
Okay.
And of course, being a new immigrant into the country,
Mhm.
and citizenship requirements, green card requirements. So there's a lot of moving parts for an immigrant coming to the United States to practice medicine.
Okay.
So that kind of determined my movement from Brooklyn to Connecticut. Yes, I wanted to actually I had a practice in Connecticut, in New York City.
Oh,
I had a
okay.
practice, but because my license expired and I couldn't renew it, I had to move to Connecticut, which allowed me to practice with a different status. That's how I ended up in Connecticut.
How was the transition for you? Because it's a big difference.
Well, it is a lot of difference, New York is kind of more rowdy.
Oh, definitely.
And when I first came to Connecticut, I discovered that they don't honk their horns,
Yeah.
They're kind of quiet, they don't honk their horns. Like in New York,
Yeah.
people are always honking their horns, like
Yeah.
paw, paw, paw.
Wait, what's that supposed to
Blowing the
mean?
horns in the car.
Yeah,
blowing the
but
horns, yeah.
are we
Yeah.
saying that we New Yorkers are
Loud.
noisy?
We are.
Yeah, very lousy, very that loud. That's a major
New York.
difference between, yes.
But I tell you what though, Bridgeport, it can be pretty rowdy too, though.
Yeah, in a sense,
Yeah.
yeah.
So once you got to Bridgeport and started working, what hospital did you work at?
Well, when I came to Connecticut, I set up my own practice.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I came from a business family, business oriented family. My father was a businessman.
Okay.
He didn't believe in working for anybody. He believed in working for himself.
I love it.
So did I. Yeah. So when I came to Connecticut, I had to set up my own practice. And it's one patient after another patient after another patient. And that's how I built my practice. It's been now 21 years.
Wow.
Yeah, we started with one patient and now I'm no more taking patients because we're kind of filled to capacity.
Yeah, that is great. Did you do any consultation with the hospitals?
Sorry?
Do you do any consultations? Do they consult with you at all?
Well, the way I have privileges at St. Vincent's and Bridgeport Hospital, but they don't go there anymore. So
Okay.
when new babies are born, they kind of send them to me. after they discharge them from the hospital.
Okay.
So I spend most of my time, consulting with patients who come to my practice,
Mhm.
treating them and, doing physical shots and all that.
Right. And I was reading, it's something that you did with the mental part of it, infants. It's amazing to me that you could be able to, because it's a baby, you could determine what they're going through mentally because they can't verbalize. They
Yes.
can't talk to you and say, well, you know what, I got a headache. So how did you be able to maneuver that though without the communication?
Well, like I told you, for 3 years now, enrolled at Fielding Graduate University,
Mhm.
studying infant mental health. It's a kind of another branch of, pediatric medicine that
Uh-huh.
deals with mental health. And mental health in babies has to do with caregiver newborn relationship,
Mhm.
because that's what builds the foundation for social emotional health in babies. Their relationship with their caregivers, primary caregivers, starting from the day they were born.
Right.
So that is what I'm learning from attending the doing an adult education right now at my
Uh-huh.
prime time. It's a new thing I'm learning. I'm learning every day. So infants, social emotional development in infants is nothing more than caregiver newborn relationship, being a quality caregiver and giving your newborn quality time, comfort, attunement and all that. So is an area that pediatricians don't go into details because they're not trained in that field.
Right.
So it's a kind of different area of looking into how children develop emotions and build their social skills.
Mhm.
So it's an exciting field and it's very, very important. I'm glad you asked that.
Yeah, what impresses me is that you're not standing still. I mean, you've done from one thing you do something and you keep moving forward and progressing forward, which I think is an inspiration to a lot of people who hopefully that will watch this and say if they're studying to be a pediatrician, doctor, whatever, is to realize that you never have to just stay steadfast in one thing. You can keep learning more, which is great. Which brings me to my next question, right? What inspired you to start writing?
Well. This is my wife's story, right?
Okay.
Let's hear it.
You
Let's
know
hear
when
it.
when your wife loves you so much, she tells you a lot of stories,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Something that happens before she was born and all that,
Right.
something that happens when she was a child.
Mm-hmm.
So she tells this story over and over again of how when she was a kid, there was this, friend of hers that goes to the stream to, get some water.
Mm-hmm.
To my wife, she thought that was an adventure.
Okay.
But for her friend, it was a task. She has to go because her mother needs water to cook and wash and do other things.
Mm-hmm.
So when my wife goes with this kid and experience what the kids had to go through, she had an epiphany, an aha moment. What Oprah calls an aha moment.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So because of that, she tells the story over and over and again. And thought that is how children learn empathy.
Yes.
By seeing what others go through. Not only children, adults, by seeing what others go through, you learn empathy. It's kind of an epiphany.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Um, it's funny because I read the book just halfway, but I got to the part where she, they're traveling, and she sees these other kids. I believe they were slipping, they were sliding over a cliff or something,
Yeah.
and and I, from what I understood, it was so dangerous. So I can't recall the names. What was the name of the two characters again?
Well, the first name is Ngozi, which is blessing. Ngozi means God's blessing.
Okay. And
The
then
second name is Azoka.
Ahsoka. Okay.
Azoka means the back is superior.
Okay. So I'm gonna assume that was the child that was poor, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
Azoka, yes.
So what I loved about it was at first the rich little girl, like you said, she was, she wanted just to get out and have fun because she kept seeing her walking by every day and not knowing until she experienced what she had to go through the woods and everything that she was going through, that adventure. I think because of that experience, it made her to have empathy for her. And that's why she wanted to go tell her dad, hold up, no, wait a minute. We got to make a change here. So if I'm correct, that's what I got from the book.
Exactly. That is it. That's how we all learn empathy, by seeing what others go through
Mhm.
and acting on it. So exactly, you're right about the interpretation. Yes.
You know what? I always think it's a good thing too, because even children, I guess, growing up, we think that we go through the worst things in the world. Our experience in life is so bad, whatever, until we meet somebody and we able to, and especially if you're the kind of person who's inquisitive, who wants to know who
Yeah.
my friend is, wants to know my friend's life or whatever. And when you find out certain things about other people, you realize that your life was not that bad and that you can persevere further,
Exactly.
you know, because of someone else's story. Now, this is not your only book, though. You have
No.
more. What are the other books about?
Well, um, the other children's book I wrote was about uh, a legendary grasshopper, and I mean, they're all African stories. Africans like to tell their story in a
Right.
unique way, uh, different perspective, with animals talking, bird singing,
Uh-huh.
and ghost appearing from nowhere, all mixed in adventure, fun, and misery. You
Uh-huh.
know, so it's an African story told in an African way.
Hmm.
So that was the grasshopper, the legendary grasshopper. Then there was a story about other book is about the Biafran War.
Hmm.
The Biafran War is when in the 60s. I was born in 1961.
So was I.
Okay,
Not
cool.
me, not me.
We're age mates.
I was born much later.
Yeah, 5 years. 5 years later, Doc. 5 years.
I think the 60s are golden kids, the
I'm
golden
telling
kids.
you, we got the
Yes,
best music, the best episodes.
yes.
It's funny because I was listening to, because I grew up listening to African music, and
Yeah.
it just builds your spirit up. It really grabs my soul just to hear the drum beats. And it's just a beautiful thing.
It's funny. She's Puerto Rican. I'm Black American, right? It's
Right.
it's wild how everything seems to originate, especially music, originates from Africa.
Exactly.
Those rhythms, those beats, and I always try to tell people that are from the islands, because of what happened with the slave trade and all that stuff.
Exactly.
All of our people were dropped off along the way to get to America.
That's right.
And the influence of our music and everything definitely it resonates and it originates from Africa. And I always tell people that is a common bond that we don't seem to be able to galvanize ourselves with. There's always the different, you're from here, you're from here, I'm different. No, you're not.
No,
We all have that DNA in us.
So
interconnected. Yes, you're
Yeah.
right.
it's true what my husband said. Sometimes I truly believe it can die off only if we have parents like myself and my husband. We want to continue this. We want to talk to our children. We want to let our children are already adults. So, but we still talk to them. And now we have grandchildren. So I
Mm.
know that I try, doing my best as far as trying to help them to at least listen to the music, because that's where I could start by
Mhm.
introducing them. Okay, this is the sound of the motherland, which is the music of Africa. And I try, or I would do a little dance with the child, and then the
Yeah.
baby would look at me like I'm
What's the
crazy.
name of the dance?
So
What's the name of the dance?
I used to dance salsa. So,
No, not that. The other
no,
one.
but salsa also has to do with Africa because it has
Of course.
the beat, the clave, the rhythm.
What is the other thing?
What do you think? Oh yes, bomba. So I grew up with bomba too. So it's just a beautiful thing how we can introduce that to our children.
It is, and we love finding, people like you, who I find to be an inspiration,
Thank you.
who is not, like I always said, you're not stuck on one thing. You're constantly moving like a flow, like the river. You're constantly moving and learning. And we also try to teach our children that you never stop learning.
Mhm.
If
Yeah,
you think you know everything and you don't need to know anything else,
Mm-mm,
you're
that's so
doomed
wrong.
for failure.
exactly. You're right. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I tell my kids I'm still figuring out what I really need to do in
Yep.
life.
And we're both 60. So
Yes, yes.
I'm behind you 100% because I learn something
Yes.
every day. I do a lot of
Yes.
reading.
Yes.
I try to find different things and whatnot. And there are things that inspire me.
Yes.
My wife would tell you, sometimes I can get really serious about stuff when it pertains to us as a people.
Yes.
I'm very serious about it. And talking to someone like you is an inspiration for us. And we hope
Thank you.
those who see this will listen to it, and especially if they're young, and say, okay, this gentleman came from another country. He came over here and he persevered. So there's no excuse for anyone to say, I can't do it, because you're a prime
Exactly.
example of what you can do. And, we really appreciate you being with us today.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me, because I believe that empathy is everything. Empathy is everything. With empathy, would if everybody were to have empathy, there would be no more wars, or the wars would be contained, poverty would be contained, hunger would be contained. Even the spread of diseases will be contained if we all have empathy about others, what others are going through. So I think it's a very important book for these reasons, and people develop empathy when they have this aha moment, which Oprah is talking about
Yes.
all the time. I love Oprah so much because
Yeah.
of her contributions in mental health and letting people tell their own stories.
Right.
So that's a very, and you two, both of you, I love you guys for letting me tell my stories as well.
Well, thank you.
And I hope that will inspire people to, take a look at the book and read it.
Yeah, and that's what I want to do. I mean, you just hit that important note where we're just trying to help people like you to help and inspire other people. And that's one of my goals, to be able to find people like yourself. Actually, you found us because we heard from Franny, our coordinator, who let me know that there's someone who wants to be on, wants to show and introduce their book. And so when
Yes.
I saw that word empathy, I was like, "Ooh, this is very interesting." So I reached out to you, and that's one of the things I love doing, is reaching out to people and to just showcase what their talent is and what their passion is. And I've been like that all my life, trying to help and inspire people.
Yeah.
So
That's
thank you.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I gotta have you back on the show.
We're gonna have you back. because
thank you,
I
thank you,
want-
thank you.
And this time I want to do all the books. I want to show all the books. Hold up.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
I'm gonna
God bless
close the
you.
show now. You ready? You want to close the show?
Yeah,
Close
but
it.
before we close it, do you have to go? Because we would like to talk just a little bit more with you.
No, keep on talking. I have
So
all
we're
time.
gonna
If I
close
wanna
it.
go there- Huh?
We're gonna close it and then we'll continue talking.
All right.
Okay.
Go ahead. Wait, hold on.
What?
I don't even know if this thing is working.
What do you mean?
So do I stay on or?
It stays on, right?
Yeah, stay on.
Okay.
I'm just trying
Okay.
to make sure that
You're gonna do a
I
lot
can
of
see
editing. yeah.
him. But if we don't see my hubby on the
Click
show,
us again. Click us.
I can edit. Don't worry about it. I'll put your beautiful picture up. Don't
All
worry.
right,
I
you
got
ready?
this. Go ahead, honey.
All right. Thank you guys for watching another episode of Spoken Voices. We hope everyone again take care of yourselves through this craziness and be well. And we'll see you again on another episode of Spoken Voices.
Do it again, but you always say, "Man, smile." So
Do I need to do it?
just do that.
Okay,
last
apparently-
closing. Do the
apparently I
last
didn't-
closing.
Apparently, I didn't do the closing correctly. I forgot to say my magic words of man makes plans, God smiles.
There you go.
See you again
You got it.
on Spoken Voices.
Okay, that's good.